Oh, hello, this is Thomas from Fourerr.com. Fourerr.com is a website where you can buy and sell services for $4. As a seller, you can make money online with Fourerr.com. Is your Fourerr picture worth 1,000 words? That's the topic of today's show. We will be looking at where the saying comes from, a picture is worth 1,000 words. We will be trying to find some comparable examples in today's world. We will be looking at what actually a picture represents and how our brain consumes those pictures. Next up, we will be looking at your picture that belongs to your gig and how actually it is a billboard for getting more orders and sales. We will be discussing the quality of the picture, and if all fails, if you have provided the right picture, the right quality picture, what else you can do in order to improve your sales. So is your picture worth 1,000 words? Originates from a media and advertising campaign which was launched in a United States newspaper in 1913, and the first representation of this saying was "one look is worth 1,000 words," whereas 5 years later, in 1918, the saying was slightly changed to "one picture is worth 1,000 words," and since then this saying has been unchanged. So let's look at some comparable examples. Well, you try to visualize yourself the map of the United States with all the states in there. And now, instead of trying to imagine how the map looks like, try also to describe it with your own words. So how many words do you require in order to describe the map? But look at the map of the United States, and actually in 1-2 seconds you'll know exactly what it represents. Likewise, look at the London Underground tube map. That's actually a spaghetti of all kind of underground stations and lines. But if you look at the picture, it is very clear. Your brain consumes it, it knows what to do with it, and it knows how to deal with it. Let's imagine you walk through the streets in London, you ask someone to describe the underground tube map. Well, I think he or she will need quite a few weeks in order to describe that to you. So, but one picture with the London Underground tube map would actually be sufficient, to know what we need from it and how we can use this. Likewise, look at your family pictures, a family doing certain activities. You look at a picture and you know exactly what type of emotions are represented in the picture, what kind of events, what kind of time period, and so on and so forth. So a picture actually represents a lot of things all at the same time. Now, when we take this to an advertising or a media campaign, let's look at the Evian or the water campaign, where purity and innocence in young adults was represented in one picture. In that T-shirt, an adult is represented, and on the T-shirt is a baby being displayed. So, look at the picture and it actually tells you, like the saying is saying, really 1,000 words. Let's try to analyze now a picture. A picture is something that can play with our emotions. It can express anger, it can express happiness, sadness, upsetment, and it also captures real evidence, which words cannot do in exactly the same way. An image also tells a story of what actually is not there. So think about this. So an image tells a story of what is not there. So a photographer actually tries to represent something that actually he wants you to focus upon. Yeah. And it influences our daily lives. Look around us, look at magazines, look at newspapers, look on several online websites. Well, it influences our daily lives. Pictures are there constantly surrounding us. And it makes you making decisions. And this is very, very important for Fourerr. So remember this, yeah. When you need to choose a picture, you need to try to make your buyer making a decision. And the decision that you need to make him do, yeah, is buying from you. Okay, so an image makes you make your buyer make decisions. So what's up with our brain? Our brain is inside our heads, and actually our brain is basically a memory bank of several images. We look around us and we choose to remember something, whatever we want to remember, something that actually triggers us, and that relates to the emotions as well that goes along with that particular activity or that thing to remember. As an example, your baby's first cry. Sure, you're going to remember that. Your first bicycle, that was awful. You're also going to remember that one. And also a very nice romantic moment, maybe the image of your first girlfriend or your first boyfriend. Sure, you're never going to forget that one, are you? So what about the beach of your last holiday with that nice, lovely blue ocean? That's not going to be erased from your memory. Your brain will stick that in its memory bank and it will remember it for the rest of your life. But on the other hand, can you remember how your dinner looked like yesterday? Or can you remember what kind of pair of shoes you were wearing yesterday? Perhaps not. Yeah, or unless you associated that with a certain event. Yeah? So you choose what you want to remember. So this is very important when we come to choose our pictures that goes along with our gigs. Yeah, we need to make sure that our buyers remember, yeah, our picture. So when they come to see all the gigs again, they remember your picture and they will straight away choose your gig, click through it, look at the details, and place that order. Okay, let's put this in perspective, all this now. So on Fourerr, your gig is actually a billboard. You have a buyer. He will be scanning several gigs and he will also look at the pictures. That's the first thing he's going to look at. So you need to provide, as a seller, an eye-catching picture. The first impression is your only chance. So make sure your picture is the best. You don't want to settle for second best because second best will only get half of the sales. So good pictures, remember, will increase sales. You are ultimately responsible for your sales through your own pictures. So buyers, they scan the pictures. If the picture does not attract them, they just move on. You can actually provide the best value, the best title, the best description, but if your picture just doesn't attract, the buyer will move on. So it needs to be of superior quality, and then only they will read your title next, followed by your description. So once again, your picture is key over here. It needs to be of superior quality because that's the first thing that your buyer will be seeing. Okay, this show is not meant to be some kind of Photoshop tutorial where we're going to discuss the best quality, but here are some guidelines which we can tell you from Fourerr, some quality guidelines. So we say on Fourerr that the images should be 600 pixels wide by 370 high, and that's the image that's been seen when a buyer clicks through onto your gig and sees it in the biggest format. So remember as well that your picture is being displayed aside all the other gigs as a thumbnail. So whatever you're trying to represent in your picture needs to look like a very good in a thumbnail as well. By default, JPEGs, they're looking the best. And make sure don't duplicate images for different gigs, otherwise we all get confused. As a reminder, but I hope after listening to this show you already got that one very clearly. A picture says 1,000 words, so make sure that your picture also says 1,000 words. And in addition, provide actual work samples. Also, do not use copyright protected images. And if you can't represent your work by a picture, perhaps show a face. A friendly face always attracts other people. It actually builds up some kind of relationships. It connects you with that particular person, and if the buyer feels connected with you, they might well go and see the details of what you have to provide. I've got also for the people looking over here on YouTube a number of pictures which we feel are absolutely meaningless. They don't provide anything whatsoever. So if you're looking at a video, well, here are some meaningless pictures. If you're listening on the podcast, well, move over to YouTube, find us there on our channel and look at the pictures, and you know exactly what we're talking about. Okay, so now you've got that idea of what type of picture you need to provide in order to entice your buyer to make an order with you. But if you're not yet getting enough orders, well, what else can you do? Well, you can provide additional pictures. Again, pictures that actually represent what you are providing, as a reference. Or in addition, provide maybe a video. Explain precisely in the video what you are providing. And also ensure that you have a very clear title and a very clear description. Okay, so that's all I've got for you today in store. As a very quick recap, we looked at where the saying comes from, a picture is worth 1,000 words. We looked at some comparable examples, and we looked at very quickly at how our brain picks up those images, what it does with those pictures, and then we looked at your gig as a billboard, how a buyer looks at your gig, how it looks at the pictures, and how he or she chooses to actually select your gig for further inspection. And then we also taught you very clearly how to represent real quality in your picture, and what else you can do over and above of providing a quality picture. So I hope I have told you some quite useful tips over here. So I would say head over now to Fourerr. If you already have an account, well, look at all your gigs and make sure that you have a perfectly visible and attractive picture that really or is worth 1,000 words. If you're not having a Fourerr.com account, I would say move over to Fourerr.com, create an account, and select your picture very carefully. So that's it for today. I would say thank you for listening, and let's see each other in another show. Thank you. Bye bye.